right, greetings out there. This is Tio Martinez, team leader for Keller Williams Coastal Living 3. Sitting here today with Gavin Oberlin. Gavin is our commercial agent. He leads our commercial division, our newly created commercial division, which we're excited about. And he's also a member of the Associate Leadership Council, which is a set of agents from our top 10% that actually help run the office. So if you were to think of the team leader as a CEO, they would be the board of directors. But more importantly, what they're there to do is to make sure that every decision we make favors the agents and we're not taking advantage of things. Not that we would, but it's just that layer of protection to show that we were built by agents for agents. So that being said, Gavin, thank you so much. It's great to spend this time with you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure getting to know you and seeing you step into this leadership role. So tell me, what got you into real estate?
It's kind of funny actually. So I graduated college. I went into the sports world, worked for ESPN for a few years in college. Got out of that, worked for my father, and was delivering bounce houses. And met a guy on the water, huge house, this and that. Asked what he did, and he said he sold commercial real estate. So I said I want in, and ended up sitting down with him, and he got me licensed, and kind of just took off from there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I mean, besides the obvious fun and all the stuff associated with selling bounce houses, what was going on in your life that kind of really helped you solidify that decision to go into business for yourself?
I was 22 years old, had moved back in with my parents, really didn't know what I was going to do next. I always wanted to work in the sports world and then realized really quick that I wanted to go to the games and enjoy them. I didn't want to sit at a desk behind them. And so, when I was out there, traveling and delivering bounce houses and everything else going on, 22, 23 years old, I ran into this and, I took a jump and a leap of faith and it worked out well.
Awesome. Glad. We share a major in sports management, and I also wanted to go into sports and realize that didn't pay as well as you don't get to enjoy the event. So here we are, right? So tell me, what's the vision for your business? Where do you see it going?
So for the next few years, my father just joined the industry, and me and him have built out our little team here, and I think that we're doing really well. I don't really have any huge ambitions of doing a huge team. I'm really happy with where we're at. Maybe later down the line of having a few assistants here and there, but just growing to where him and I are comfortable enough that we're both enjoying it still. I don't want to make it a job.
Sure.
And so
that's got to be a fantastic dynamic to go from working for your dad selling bounce houses to now he's on your team, and you're kind of taking the lead role in that. Tell me a little bit how that dynamic works.
Well, it's funny. I mean, when I was working for him, it's a different world, and then he kind of came into this, and it was cool to be on the other side of. Me and him are very close. We always have been. And now watching him take the leap and actually sit down and listen to what I've been saying, and me helping train and teach, it's been pretty cool to watch. So
that's awesome. I gotta imagine that only enhances the relationship.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, but yeah, we're best friends.
I love it. My dad was my best friend too, and it means a lot when you can work together.
Yeah. When you intermingle and everything is together, it's pretty cool.
Great. So let's talk a little bit. Let's shift a little bit to the ALC. Now I know I kind of voluntold you about the ALC, but you stepped up. And what does that mean to you? What does it mean to you to be part of this group?
I've been here for 5 years now, going on 6, and we've seen our market center change rapidly many times. When I first came in here, it was thriving, at least what it looked like on the outside, doing great, and then it kind of took a downhill turn for a while, and all of us were kind of trying to figure out where it would go next. And then after that, I mean, it started, I guess you would say, rising up again. We had a whole new staff come in and everything, a new location. It really changed things, and it kind of inspired me because, to be honest, without my people here, I wouldn't be with KW. So
relationships matter.
They do.
Right? When you're in business with matters.
Correct.
So now, how do you see being on the ALC giving you the leverage you need or helping you out with this new commercial division that you have coming out?
So, I mean, to be honest, I think the ALC is just a great group of people that we put together that are all leaders in our area. And having that exposure to them will not only help our commercial division, but the entire market center thrive. and I think the connections there will go a lot further than just in this room.
Absolutely, and you know that the Market Center's commitment to the ALC is to help grow your business. And I always feel that, you know, the more you know about the commercial side, the better conversations you can have on the residential side. So I love having that mix. So.
And I mean, we all we all work great together.
Right.
You know, and so referring back and forth, it just really works really well.
Awesome. So I know it's a tale of two markets right now between up north and down here. It's also a tale of two industries pretty much between the commercial and the residential. What are you seeing on the commercial side?
So to be honest, I mean, everybody watches the news. And I will say, in my opinion, I don't think the news really tells the whole story of what the market's doing. Our area a few years ago was booming. Our area still is now technically booming if you look on a national basis. The agents here in the area might not agree with that because of what we're experienced and what we experienced a few years back. You know, for commercial, we did take a downward spiral for about a year, and now we're coming back. And as long as you were able to keep the connections and everyone that your clientele, you were fine, and you're still going to be fine. And I think here by the end of this year, you're going to see a huge upward, turn for not only commercial but residential.
Yeah, I hear you keep going back to that. What I'm hearing a lot is the relationships, right? And in residential real estate, they're constantly pounding relationships with your database. And then sometimes you look at commercial, and agents that are not familiar with commercial have a tendency to see it as this cold, numbers only thing. But how important is relationships in your world?
I mean, to be honest, we always say there's no emotion, but there's a lot of emotion. You know, there's emotion whenever you're spending money in any way, shape, or form. It's the difference emotion that you're actually putting, your life savings into something, or trying to make an investment out of it, or a business that you built the ground up from. You're not putting a family into a home that's having their first newborn. Right. So I think there's still a lot of emotion involved, and I think that is kind of what deters a lot of residential and commercial agents away from each other, is the different type of emotion.
Awesome. So your ability to meet their emotional level,
correct,
helps with the relationship, and then ultimately leads to success. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. I would say that.
Awesome. So let's pull out our crystal ball here and take a look. 3 years from now, where do you want to see yourself? I know, and actually congratulations, because I know that you're about to have an addition to your family, and how has that changed the way you look at things, and what's that big driving reason why you come in and do what you do?
I mean, to be honest, I think everybody goes up and down in their career, and I had ups and downs, and it's like a roller coaster. And the second we found out we were having a baby, then I think it kind of just clicked, of like, this is not a joke, this is real. And as time got closer to us having him, then I realized that I was like, this is it, this is what we're doing. And so we definitely put our heads down, and we've really just dialed everything in and focused on, what the next few years might look like for us. We have personal goals and business goals, and I think business-wise, just kind of maintaining where we're at and growing at a comfortable rate,
Take me through the perfect week for a commercial real estate agent.
The perfect week, that could go many different directions. To be honest, I enjoy the meetings and the, being out in the field. The perfect week, for us at least, I would assume, you do your lead gen in the morning, and you set up appointments from 1 to 5. If you could have 3, 4, 5 appointments every day or every other day, you set up 20 a week and you get 5 of them, that's a win. So.
And the lead gen process in commercial, is it database? Is it calling through a group of investors? Take me a little bit through that.
It's anything and everything. I'm a very big believer in lead generation and making the call. And I think that residential and commercial are very similar in that aspect. It's all a numbers game. So if you're doing residential, commercial, if you're doing sales of anything, the more connections you have, the better off you'll be. And so whether you're at a gas station, you talk to the guy next to you about his car, or you're at a bar or restaurant, you talk to them. I think just putting yourself out there and getting as many connections as possible will win.
Awesome. Well, listen, it's all about conversations, right?
Correct.
And the higher the level of the conversation, the more you have, obviously.
5
the more-
conversations a day. That's 25 a week.
All right, is that what you hold your team accountable to?
Yep, that's what we work on.
All right, what happens to dad if he doesn't hit his 5? Is he doing push-ups? Does he have to take out the garbage, or what goes on
No,
with that?
well, right now I've got to pick up the slack, but
Okay.
we're working on it, so we'll see what
I
happens.
saw him in there the other day doing his
Yeah,
thing, so
no,
that's
he's
incredible.
he's come a long way. He just did his first lease on his own, so yeah, no, it's pretty cool.
I'm a young agent, and I see the numbers throwing around commercial, and I want to do commercial. What's my next step?
The next step obviously is just to sit down and have a conversation with us. The numbers are very deceiving. Everybody looks at big numbers, big commission, this and that. Nobody understands that it takes us 6 to 12 months to get a deal done. And if you actually look at the numbers, I mean, you could do well in either one. It's all about you and what you're willing to put towards it. So I think just having a commercial with an experienced agent will kind of get you that next step.
All right. If you were going to advise any of the newer agents that do want to get into commercial, where what kind of training or what they should look for, what would you say?
Come to us. We have an entire mentorship program. We have Nucleus. It's a commercial, boot camp. Puts you through an 8-week course and really just gets you prepared for what the commercial world has to offer.
Actually, as soon as I get my license, I'm looking forward to going through that, and I'm going to let you put me through the exercises there.
It's always a great time. So
Awesome.
I look forward to it.
Well, Gavin, it's a pleasure being in business with you. I appreciate you taking
Yes,
your
sir.
time out.
Thank
Take
you so
care.
much.
All right.